What's good, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. I just got done filming the UFC 307 review, and I figured I want to do a matchmaking episode again. A UFC 307 matchmaking episode, just from the main card. Those few fights, what type of matchups can we make with each competitor, and see what we can make. We can make some fancy good matchups. So let's get into it. Let's go. Alright, so opening the card obviously was Kayla Harrison versus Ketlen Vieira. I'm just going to be matchmaking the winners, right? I don't feel like diving into the losers. I got to go diving, looking through the ranks. I'm not doing all that right now. We're going to talk about the winners, right? So Kayla Harrison got the dub. Obviously, we know what fight there is to make. She was basically the number one contender. Without being the number one contender, she just had to lock this win in, and she's basically guaranteed a title shot. I mean, the UFC was pushing that. They were forcing that after Julianna Pena won. Like, yo, what are you going to do with Kayla Harrison? They even videotaped her backstage. I mean, they were pushing. They're pushing for Kayla Harrison to get the title shot. So there is no big discussion, no big breakdown on that. It is one matchup, one fight. It's Julianna Pena. That's it. That's it. No fight one more person, none of that stuff. It's fight Julianna Pena because the division needs help, and maybe Kayla Harrison can bring some life to that division. Alright, Roman Dolidze got the win over Kevin Holland. I don't know what Roman Dolidze is doing, whether he's middleweight, light heavyweight, where he's bouncing with, if he's just going back and forth for the time being. But in the middleweight division, I'm always talking about it being such a interesting division because it's always getting mixed up some way, somehow. It's always getting oddly mixed up. Now, I know he's fought Imavov already. Pretty sure he fought Brendan Allen already. He fought Marvin Vettori already, I think. So what matchup do you make for a guy like Roman Dolidze who's getting wins, but they're not like insane, amazing wins? They're good. I say Paulo Costa. Why not? Get him in there with somebody who's strong, somebody who's powerful, who's going to pressure him on the feet if he shoots and goes to the ground. And saying people hold Paulo Costa in like high position, as he's like high on this scale of being a top contender or something. He doesn't get that many wins. You know, he doesn't have that many losses, but he doesn't get that many wins, and you see him once a year maybe. So I do think that's a good fight for Roman if you're trying to build Roman up, see if you can get him to the next slot, get him rising in the ranks. That's a good fight for him. I think he's ranked somewhere 10, 11, something like that. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I'll correct myself how I always do down here. But I think that's a good matchup to make. You can also do Roman Dolidze versus. You can't put him up against guys like Rob or Hamzat yet. It's just too high up. Not gonna put him against Izzy because that fight don't make no sense for Izzy. I know Izzy's gonna have to build with a new fight, but that's not a fight to build with. Imavov's building. That could be a fight for Izzy, Imavov and Izzy. Who else is there? Am I missing somebody? Let's see what the middleweight division's in for. Yeah, so realistically, Dolidze and Costa makes the most sense. Dolidze is ranked 10, Costa is ranked 9 from the looks of it. So I think that is the fight to go with. But like I was saying, if you want to do something else, you could do Dolidze versus Cannonier. You're not going to do Dolidze versus Barallo because you just had Barallo get a fantastic win, so you're trying to elevate him to the next position. You're not going to try to have him fight down. So I think Dolidze and Paulo Costa is the one to do. So run that one. Did you guys see my last episode where I was dogging Mario Batista? Now I got to give him a fight. Oh, I'm going to give him a fight. Mario Batista is ranked 11th after this win, right? Now, I am obviously not a UFC matchmaker, but if I was this man's boss, I'd be throwing him to the wolves. I'd either be throwing him to the best fight I can give him, where I knew he was gonna get his ass beat. Just tough. Dude is a tough dude. Not gonna take nothing away from that. But if I was truly his boss, I would throw his ass on an early prelim of a fight night in the Apex against some nobody scrub. I don't care if you get the dopest win or not. I'm going to give you 2 of these back to back just because of that performance against Jose Aldo. Because damn you, I want to cuss so much more on this, but I'm trying to build. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build the channel. I feel like cussing might run the rest of the people away. So we try not to cuss too much. But if we were, it'd be a whole lot of words I'd be calling Mario Batista right now, and none of them are nice. None of them are kind words. But you got to give him a matchup, right? That's what I'm doing, playing matchmaker. So let's give him a matchup. Mario Batista. You know what's crazy? If that win was an impressive win, there's one fight to make that would bounce off my head real quick and be perfect. And it'd be Mario Batista and Chito Vera. Because I thought Mario Batista was this guy who wants to stand in the pocket and trade and scrap, get into those types of exchanges and fight and stuff like that. Not shoot for the legs and hold a man there for as long as he possibly can and lose in the striking exchanges. I thought he was going to be a lot different than that. I thought it was going to be a scrap. I thought he was going to bring the heat to Jose. I still believed Jose would have got the win, but I thought he was going to bring it on the striking side, and he didn't. If he would have brought it on the striking side and got a good win, I 100% would have put him up against Marlon Vera. Him and Chito would make a good fight, but after that, people aren't really like sitting back saying, oh yeah, I want to see Mario Batista fight. I want to see his next fight. I understand you got to secure wins. You're trying to get wins. You're trying to, you're not always doing it for fans' sake, but at the same time, it's not always about fans' sake. You got to make your boss your fan too. And if you're putting on a boring fight like that, your boss is not going to give you anything that's a blessing. I guarantee it. If I know anything about Dana White, right, I don't personally know him, but from watching this sport for all these years, anything I know about Dana White is he does not bless you after performances like that, unless you're Marab. I mean, if you're trying to give Mario Batista a fight backwards, if you're trying to make him fight backwards, I would say put him up against Montel Jackson. 18-second KO in his last fight over Damon Blackshear. That's pretty impressive, if we're being honest. 18-second KO. Dude looks like he's got really good boxing, quick hands, and he hits hard. I think that's a fight for Mario Batista. If you're being Dana White and you're making him fight backwards, that's the fight to make. But if you are gonna bless him and give him a fight forward, him and Chito would make sense. Chito needs a win, and Mario Batista needs to make a statement now. No matter what fight he's in, no matter if he takes some early prelim guy who nobody ever heard of on his debut and sparks him in 10 seconds, or gets a guy on 6-week camp, 12-week camp, whatever the case may be, perfectly prepared fight, he has to get something impressive. He cannot win like he did against Jose again. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting without a fight. That's what's going to happen. He's going to be sitting and Dana's not going to give him no fight. It's not going to offer him nothing. That's what happens. So, I mean, I'm not going to really go too crazy with the co-main event. Obviously, you know what I think. Julianna Pena should fight Kayla Harrison. There was the moment where the call out was there. She won the belt, even though it was not a really... again, no one made statements that night except for a few people. Julianna Pena did not make a statement to get that belt back, right? And then at the end, to call out Amanda Nunes, somebody who was retired, who 5-0'd you in the last one, and I understand it's 1-1, you want that one back, but when somebody gets a win like that, and you were supposed to fight her and then had to pull out and she fought somebody else who she completely just pinged up for 5 rounds again, yeah, she retired. She don't need to keep doing it to prove anything to anybody. But Julianna Pena's got something to prove. She really does. She has something to prove. If you can go out there and finish Kayla Harrison, completely stop the hype train and defend the title, a lot of people will respect Julianna Pena. A lot of people will give her respect as champion. But until then, I don't think people are going to give her respect as champion. I don't think people look at her as a dominant champion or a high level champion or anything like that. It's almost like she's a one and done every time she gets the belt. Barely even looking at her as a two-time champion because it's a, it's Carla Esparza style of being a two-time champion. No disrespect. But Julianna Pena's got to defend that belt against somebody, and it's going to be Kayla Harrison. Because the only other person in that division that got a big win, like I said in the last episode, is Norma Dumont. And that's just not it yet. It's not it. I think Norma Dumont needs one more. Even though she beat a top contender like Irene Aldana, I think, Norma Dumont, maybe Norma Dumont and Raquel Pennington, if Raquel's trying to get right back in it. Norma Dumont and Raquel Pennington, we'll see what happens, that and you make that number one contender, possibly. I don't know. The division is dry. So it's got to be Kayla Harrison and Julianna Pena because at least it will sell a little bit and there's going to be some trash talk involved. Chama. Alex Pereira. What is next for Alex? A break. That's what's next for Alex. A slight break. In when I say a slight break, I mean he's gonna return in December or January, because that's a slight break for Poetan. No, honestly, I think he is gonna take a break. We maybe probably see him back around the spring again or something like that, unless Dana White begs him to save a card again. Because look, this man has been a savior. He is the fighter of the year for 2024. He is the savior of the year for cards of 2024, and he has been the most exciting fighter of 2024 without a doubt. He has gone out there and put on great performances back to back to back. Two massive cards. This third one, headlining, was supposed to be a massive card, just didn't live up to what it could have been. And hard to argue with his growth. His growth is amazing, right? So he deserves to get a slight break. If he ends up coming back in the spring, that'd be fine. But you never know. You could see him, like I said, in December or January. And who would he be fighting? That just depends, right? Everybody's saying Ankalaev, 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 Ankalaev. And I get that. I believe that Ankalaev will be number one contender, but you can't be number one contender if you take another fight. And he took a fight against Raychik. So by doing that, right, you just put a little roadblock in front of you. You got to make sure you get over this. And I don't see why people are sleeping on Raychik, right? I get it. He lost to Yuri, but majority of the division has lost. Anybody that's fought to Yuri except for Alex has lost to Yuri. So it's as simple as that. Yuri is very skilled, hits hard, he's very hard to read, and he's hard to get out of there too. But Raychik is a skilled dude. He's got good leg kicks. He's got good kicks in general. If he can stuff the takedowns from Magomed Ankalaev, which a lot of people can, he's not that dominant of a wrestler, and he could force this fight on the feet, he could have a good night. But that is one of the fights in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi or whatever. And, whenever there's that hometownish type of thing or that hometownish type of crowd, I should say. The crowd is going to be behind him. They're going to be behind Magomed Ankalaev that night. They're going to be behind a lot of guys, obviously. You know how they do with those cards. But he's got to get past Raychik. And if he doesn't, all that talking was for nothing. And here's the thing. If Raychik wins, does Raychik deserve a title shot? Not really. Not really. I think you can do, at that point, I would say if Ankalaev loses, right, Raychik does kind of open up a opportunity to be a number one contender, but I think people would rather see something like Alex versus freaking Dreykus at 205, or Alex versus Khalil Roundtree 2, like before seeing the Raychik fight, right? Just that, on an excitement level. But I think if Alex comes back and it's not Magomed Ankalaev, my true opinion is move up. Might as well. He's to make a statement and be able to grab 3 different belts, 3 different divisions. That'd be amazing. Be extremely impressive. And right now, it would be the toughest task. Right? I can see John Jones staying around for a fight like that at heavyweight. but I don't think he will. I think Alex and Tom Aspinall would sell like crazy. Personally, feel like Tom would get that one done, but that fight would sell like crazy. And if Poatan was able to get the win on that one, it's going to be hard to argue his status. His status is already getting hard to argue to begin with. He's got as many title defenses as Khabib. So all you Khabib fans out there, I fuck with Khabib. I fuck with Khabib. Khabib's awesome. Very talented. Very fun to watch too at certain moments, certain times. But Poatan's got the same amount. And Poatan only been in the UFC for 3 years. 3 years. He's finishing people. 2 different divisions. Right? He smoked the guys in the middleweight division. Obviously had that loss to Izzy. Realized the weight cut is a problem. He's got to go up to 205. Goes up to 205. Beats Jan Blachowicz in a lackluster win. Goes on to fight Yuri. Knocks Yuri out. Goes on to defend against Jamal Hill. Knocks Jamal Hill out. Goes on to defend against Yuri again. Knocks Yuri out. Goes on to defend Khalil Roundtree. Gets into absolute war, but gets the finish in the 4th round. This man is a monster. Absolute monster. Absolute monster. So, what's next is we got to wait and see. Truth be told, for Alex Pereira, we got to wait and see. You can try to make fights for him. You can try to make matchups. People obviously have that dream matchup of him and John Jones at 205. I don't see John Jones ever being able to make 205 again or ever wanting to fight at 205 again. And I think if he is a non-juiced up John Jones, I'm sorry to all you John Jones fans out there. Alex sleeps him. Oh, but John Jones wrestles him, takes him down in the 1st round. Okay, pause. Let's take a second. Let's run this back. He shot 9 takedowns on Dominic Reyes. Landed 2. 22%. So for all you people saying, oh, he would take Alex down right away, he struggled with Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes was cracking him. And we all know that those shots that Dominic Reyes was cracking him with, if that was Poatan, I'm just saying. I think John Jones is one of the greatest of all time. I'm not going to argue anybody's statements with that. I truthfully believe he is one of the best to ever do it. But at the same time, you got to sit back and look at it and be real with yourself. How many of those wins on juice really mattered? And if you look at the times where you knew 100% he wasn't on the juice, it was a 5-round fight. Owen St. Preux, Gustafsson won. Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith. These are fights we knew for sure that he was not on the juice. I think he was on the juice for DC 1. I think obviously he was on the juice for DC 2. You know, there's a lot of problems with him being the GOAT. You know what I mean? And I do believe the way that Alex Pereira fights at 205, he knocks John Jones out. Now you want to talk heavyweight? John Jones' wrestling at heavyweight is different. He's big. He's big, he's strong, and he's utilizing the thing that got him to the game in the first place, which was wrestling, right? He's going back to his roots of the game, and at heavyweight it's working for him, right? For now. He did it against Cyril Gane. There's not much to hype up about that. Cyril Gane doesn't have any takedown defense. Legitimately think about it. A broken-kneed freaking Francis Ngannou took him down with ease. I don't think Cyril even knows what to do when someone's taking these. Just like, I'm going to sit down. I sit down with this. Okay. And that's it. Trying to get leg locks and stuff. Didn't do it against John Jones. Couldn't. But trying to get leg locks and stuff. Stop it. Stop it. Get out of here. But fuck with John Jones. Has a lot of fantastic wins. A lot of amazing wins. A lot of cold-ass, cold-blooded, cutthroat type of wins from back in the day. But we need to stop overhyping what he did against Cyril Gane. He didn't do shit in his last 3 light heavyweight matchups. So let's give it time. Let's see what he's gonna do against Stipe. Let's see what he's gonna do against Stipe, because we know he's retiring. He's gonna retire. So you're never gonna get a dope fight like him and Alex Pereira at 205, or him and Alex at heavyweight. You'll never get Tom and John Jones at heavyweight, even though it would sell like crazy for the UFC, and John would make so much money. Tom would make so much money. But I'm not the businessman. I'm not the money aspect of that. But that matchup, you know, people want to see that one. People will want to see Tom and Alex too. You know what I mean? Like it's just different. You know what I mean? It's different. You feel like, man, Tom Aspinall is a legit heavyweight, explosive, fast, good at wrestling, good at jiu-jitsu, got quick hands, good boxing, powerful. He has got everything he needs to have to be a problem for somebody like Alex Pereira. But we'll see. Like I said, only time will tell, and we got to see what happens with this division first. We got to see what happens with Ankalaev, if Ankalaev gets past Raychik, and it's impressive, because Dana White said he needs to see an impressive win. So if he gets past Raychik and it's impressive, then boom, there's your title shot. There's the matchup. But if not, we got to sit and wait and see what's going on. That's it for the matchmaking episode. I appreciate you guys for watching. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode comes out. And I'll catch you on the next episode. I appreciate you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.